The 3-3-3 or Sudoku packing method is one of the best ways to start packing for any trip. But to actually use it properly, you need to know how to flex it. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the modifiers that make this system work for real trips, not just in theory. Because the biggest mistake people make with this method is treating it like a fixed rule instead of a flexible system. First, here's a refresher about how the 3x3x3 packing method works. You choose 3 bottoms, 3 tops, and 3 layering pieces. Then you arrange them in a 3x3 grid in this order. Right away, you can see multiple outfit combinations, and technically up to 27 outfits. Now, we all know that on paper and in theory, things tend to look a little better than they do in real life. Realistically, I don't think anyone needs 27 outfits for a single trip. And after the first 12 to 15, they do start to look a little repetitive. Now, for someone going away for 3 to 6 days, mostly doing the same type of activities in similar weather, this system works perfectly. But no trip is the same. We all have different plans, different needs, and different climates. So the 3x3x3 system is meant to be your foundation, the starting point that you build on, modify, and adjust based on your trip. Remember, this is a teaching video. I'm giving you the knowledge and the tools so then you can actually apply this in a way that works for you. So while the Sudoku packing method is a great starting point, it's not the be-all and end-all. So I fixed it. I think in one of my 2024 videos, I called it the 3x3 plus method, but honestly, it needs a better name than that or Sudoku. So if you have a fun name suggestion, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Here's the new way to think about it. This isn't really a new system, it's just a better way of looking at your packing. You start with your 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and 3 layers. And then you choose your modifiers. For most of you, those modifiers will probably change depending on the trip. So instead of trying to force your trip into the system, you adjust the system to fit your trip. You add pieces, swap pieces, and tweak things until everything is covered. And yes, there are probably endless combinations of modifiers, but I'm going to walk you through the most important ones, or probably the most common ones. So let's break those down into categories. Category 1, add pieces without packing more. First is the travel day outfit. This is what I consider the most flexible part of the system, because it really depends on your trip, your travel style, and how much space you actually have, especially if you're trying to stick to carry-on only. For example, if I'm going somewhere for a longer trip, say 2 weeks or more, or somewhere with changing weather, I will purposely plan my travel day outfit to coordinate with my 3x3x3 capsule wardrobe, meaning everything I wear on my flight becomes maybe 3 or 4 additional pieces that I can also wear throughout the trip. So now I've effectively added more clothing without packing more. Now, I could probably make an entire video about just this, but basically think about what you actually need on your trip. If you're planning to hike, be active, or move around a lot, those are the exact types of clothes that you can wear on the plane instead of packing them. Or instead, sometimes I'll wear what I call a transit pant, something comfortable enough for a long flight, but still polished enough to wear out. Some great options for that are the Athleta Endless Pant, the Lululemon Daydrift Trousers, or the Unbound Merino Travel Pant. You can also wear a pair of stretchy or comfortable jeans, so you're not stuck wearing athleisure on the flight, and now you actually have another pair of nice bottoms to add to your capsule wardrobe. Now you can also look at this from the opposite perspective. If you have very limited space, maybe you're traveling with just a personal item, or you need to prioritize packing other things, you can wear pieces from your capsule on your travel day. So instead of adding pieces, you're wearing 3 and packing 6. But before you decide which approach to take, you might need to factor in a few other adjustments. And that brings us to category 2, swap pieces for your trip type. So what about formal wear, or trips where you need to look a little more polished? For this, there are a couple of adjustments. You could pack a nice silk midi skirt as one of the bottoms, either a black or maybe a soft neutral color, because you can dress it up for a nice dinner or event. But you can also dress it down with sneakers or boots for everyday sightseeing. So now that one piece is doing double duty. You could also bring a dress if that makes more sense for your trip, And if you're trying to keep your bag light, you can offset that by wearing 1 to 3 pieces from your capsule on your travel day so that you're not adding bulk. And if you have formal wear or need to dress up a bit, you might want to consider bringing a travel steamer. And that brings us to today's sponsor, Epica. Now, you've probably heard me talk about them before because I've been using their universal travel adapters on all of my recent trips. But they've recently expanded into a full travel product lineup, and we recently brought the Trip Cozy garment steamer with us to Tokyo to test it out. And I have to say, it was one of those things that I didn't realize I needed until I had it. People tend to dress a little more polished or elevated in Tokyo, so Chris and I were wearing our blazers a lot. And being able to quickly steam them before heading out made such a difference. This steamer heats up in about 15 seconds, and you know it's ready because the heating panel turns orange. And it works anywhere in the world too. It automatically adapts between 100 to 240 volts, so there's no switching or guessing, you just plug it in and go. Just make sure you follow the safety instructions and use the right water level since it does get hot. But I love that the nozzle turns orange when it's hot, so you know exactly when it's not safe to touch it and when it is. What I really like is that it's gentle enough for more delicate pieces too, like merino wool or a silk skirt, so everything looks polished without risking damage. Now, to make the whole system even better, they also have their Trip Cozy compression packing cubes, which are great for maximizing space. They compress your clothes down to give you that extra bit of room, so no more unorganized chaos. The inner lining is also antibacterial, which is great for keeping everything fresh, especially on longer trips. So together, it creates this really clean, efficient system. Your clothes stay compact and organized while you're traveling, and then you've got an easy way to make sure everything still looks polished when you arrive. So if you're ready to upgrade your travel setup, check out the links in the description or first comment to get yourself the new Epica Trip Cozy Garment Steamer and the Trip Cozy Compression Packing Cubes. Now, what about skirts and dresses? I get this question all the time, especially because I tend to build a lot of my capsules around pants. There's a simple way to think about it. Skirts are bottoms. They function exactly the same way as jeans, trousers, shorts, leggings. So if your preference is skirts, you can absolutely build your 3 bottoms using all skirts. And actually, in a lot of cases, they're even more versatile. A linen maxi skirt, for example, is breathable and comfortable. It's great for warm weather. And if it gets cooler, you can easily throw a pair of leggings on underneath. Now, dresses are slightly different, but very easy to incorporate. You just want to choose dresses that can function like a bottom. This way, a dress can replace a pair of pants. You treat it as a bottom by layering your tops and outer layers over top to create multiple outfits. And then you also have it as a standalone piece. So technically, this does create more outfits because a single pair of pants can't be a standalone outfit. However, most people don't need 27 outfits. So another option is to just replace 1 bottom and 1 top with 1 dress. Roughly the same amount of space, but a different kind of flexibility. Now we're into category 3, which is adjusting for weather and environment, where you might not need 3 layers. In that case, you can shift the balance of your capsule. So instead of 3 bottoms, 3 tops, and 3 layers, you can just do 3 bottoms and 6 tops. That still gives you 18 combinations, which realistically is more than enough for most trips. And speaking of warm weather, what if you get sweaty? First of all, this is where fabric really matters. I talk about traveling with merino wool clothing all the time because it helps minimize the chance of getting sweaty. That's kind of the whole point of it. It naturally helps regulate temperature and it doesn't hold on to moisture or odor the same way that other fabrics do. So when it dries, the smell goes with it. There's nothing for the smell to cling on to. And that's why I like wearing merino wool as the first layer on my skin to prevent getting sweaty in the first place. And then overnight, the shirts air out and they're fresh to wear again the next day, which is not always possible with other fabrics. Now, I'm not saying you have to use merino wool for this system. You can use whatever shirts or tops or fabrics you want. But I like wearing it because I literally don't have to wash it over the course of a 2-week trip. So if you're not wearing merino or you just need a refresh, it doesn't mean you need to wash everything. You could just wash the armpits of your shirt. You don't necessarily have to wash the whole thing. Another option is you can use a mini spray bottle and put some vodka in it. The alcohol kills the smell and then evaporates, so you don't have to worry it's not going to smell like booze. Now, you can either pack it in your toiletry bag or pack an empty mini spray bottle and then go buy a little bit of cheap vodka when you arrive. Sounds crazy, but the real travelers know that this is absolutely a hack. Now we're in category 4, how to handle real life situations. So what about workout clothes? Personally, I keep them separate from my capsule. Typically, I pack one simple workout outfit, like a pair of athletic shorts and a tank top with a built-in bra. So it's one outfit and it doesn't take up too much space. And then after I wear it, after I do my workout, I just do a quick sink wash in the hotel room and then leave it to dry while I'm out and about for the day. If you don't want to wash it every day, then pack a second outfit or a third outfit. It's really all about how much room you have. I tend to pack light, I restrict myself to a carry-on, so that means usually I can just bring one workout outfit, and I'm fine with doing a quick little refresh in the hotel sink. What about spills and stains or just getting your clothes dirty? Because this is usually the reason where people overpack in the first place. First of all, doing a bit of laundry while you travel is much easier than you think. And I have a full video about how to do this, so I'll link that if you haven't watched it. But for everyday situations, I travel with a Tide to Go pen for quick fixes. And if you want something a little stronger, you can pack a stain remover stick that works as a pre-treatment. Finally, how do shoes fit into this method? I'm glad you asked. There is a 3-shoe limit, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. First, you pick a walking shoe. Personally, I always choose something like a nice trendy white or neutral sneaker. Then choose a shoe for the weather, something like boots for the rain, sandals if it's hot, or whatever your trip requires. The third pair is a U shoe. This can be anything you want. It can be something fun and cute. I love these chunky loafers that I brought with me to Japan. That would be a good example. Or maybe just a good old pair of Birkenstocks that you always default to. You always find yourself wearing them. They're comfy and they go with a lot of things. Those are just some examples, but basically think about it this way. It's your bonus shoe, whatever you want to bring. 3 pairs will get you by, and sometimes even 2. And if you actually want to try this for yourself, I put together 2 free templates that you can download and use to build your own 3x3x3 travel capsule wardrobe. They're linked in the description, they're completely free, no need to sign up for an email to get them. But if you found this helpful, I do have a great email newsletter that's free. I only send it out about once a month, and if you want more tips like this, I'd love to have you there. That's going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.